Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and today we have health and wellness coach and the creator of the Total Body Transformation, Mary Schmitt, on the show. Welcome, Mary. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited about this project.
You're most welcome, Mary. So, Mary, how did you first get interested in health and fitness?
Well, I had always been an avid runner, like a jogger. I would jog miles and miles. And then one day, one of my friends was like, "You really need to go to the gym." And I was like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to get bulky, what everybody thinks about weightlifting. And I went one time and I loved it so much that I went 5 days a week every day since then. And that was, I don't know, almost a decade ago.
Great. And in your chapter in our upcoming book, you explain how at some point you became obsessed with having a quote unquote perfect body. You describe a turning point in your life that made you put things in perspective. Tell us what happened.
Well, there was a long period of time where the only thing that mattered to me was how my body looked. I got obsessed. I just wanted abs and I wanted perfect cap delts and it was all that really mattered to me, and I didn't notice at the time that it was just completely obsessive and that I was doing it for all of the wrong reasons. I just wanted abs. And so one night, I was living in Colorado at the time. One night I was dragging and I really didn't feel like working out. It was the very last thing that I wanted to do, but I was like, oh, I want those abs, I better go. So I sucked it up and I went, and I get there and I'm pedaling away. I was on this elliptical type thing. I'm pedaling away and I catch notice of the TV in front of me. And I see this woman and she is completely disfigured. She's missing pieces of her face. She's in a wheelchair. And I couldn't tell if she had become a paraplegic or quadriplegic, but she did lose limbs somehow. And I'm reading across the bottom of the TV all of these things that this woman is saying, and she has her child with her, and she was just so elated to be there for her child. And to me, it was, I just stopped for a second and I was like, what am I doing here? I'm sitting here pounding away on this equipment, and the only thing I'm worried about is abs. And then I'm looking down at my arms, my legs, and they're just pumping with life. And I think this is what this is about. This is about being healthy, being positive about your body, just loving the process rather than a race to the finish line. Because I think that's what a lot of people who get into fitness do it for. I want to look good for cruise or for a family vacation or a new boyfriend, or all the wrong reasons, when really it's about having the ability to do these things with your body, to be able to work out and to enjoy the process. So from that point on, it became more about enjoying what my body could do and seeing what I was capable of doing, rather than, is this going to give me abs? And that's now, that's just secondary. It just comes along with the territory. But in the beginning, it was almost like I couldn't get there because that's all I was searching for. But when I started enjoying the process, it just came naturally. It just came with it.
That's very
So that's kind
powerful.
of what I'm.
Yeah, that's very powerful. In a way, it's strange that as life happens, we tend to forget how lucky we really are. Do you think we should purposely take time to reflect and be grateful? And how do you do that today?
Oh, absolutely. I think that appreciation is there's nothing that gets you going and makes you more alive than appreciating what you have. Every morning before I do anything else, I reflect and I meditate. I meditate every day, a minimum of 10 minutes. I just take the time to completely clear my mind, sit in the moment, and make sure that I'm grasping everything that's around me. And I feel that from doing that, I just can appreciate everything so much more and just have a clarity of mind, and everything just comes a lot easier from it.
Through that experience on that winter night, you gained a sense of clarity. Do you have any advice around how others can differentiate between what's really important in life and the superficial?
Yeah, the way that I kind of look at that is what feels natural, what feels good, what feels right. When I was pounding away on this abs, and that's all I cared about, it didn't feel right. It felt forced. Like I was saying, that night, I went to go to the gym, and it was the very last thing I wanted to do. But when I started putting things into perspective, and I started appreciating what my body could do, and I started being grateful for these things rather than the search for abs, I was in the search of appreciation. When the perspective changed, it felt good. It felt right. So really, I just think it's your basic intuition. What feels good? What feels right? Pounding away on this perfect body doesn't feel right, but appreciating what you have and working for what you do have, that feels right. And I think that your basic intuition is the best answer for that.
And there was a line in your chapter that stuck with me. You wrote, I was finding excuses why I didn't want to work out when some didn't have the luxury. And you go on to explain that because of a shift in your perception, you have learned that, to enjoy the process. What can you share around it?
Ever since that night, ever since I decided that rather than take it for the superficial, what I thought I was doing it all for, what I was doing it all for at the time, I just started to enjoy the process, live in the very moment. So while I'm training, while I'm running, and most people would say, oh, I don't know how you do that, how you sit on that treadmill and pound away like that and this and that. And it's like, well, because I love it. And the reason I love it is because I'm sitting in that very moment at that very time. I'm thinking, okay, how is this feeling to my lungs? How's this feeling to my body? My body's pumping with endorphins. And it might be somewhat painful in the way of, my muscles are sore, this or that. But it's literally just living in that very second and moment. Those endorphins, you can't beat that. It's great.
Right. And when things don't go perfectly in life, it becomes easier to complain and make excuses. How do you stay positive despite setbacks?
I just look for what I'm wanting to see. If it's something that some people would consider negative, I'll find something that I can turn it into something positive. Like if I have a challenge, it's exactly that. It's a challenge. I want to see what I can do to not fix it, but to create something out of it. I think that we're all just powerful creators, and why not just take the good out of everything, because every single situation has something beautiful and positive and something that can be created from it. And that's what we're here for. We're here to create.
As a health and wellness coach, what is the single most powerful method you've learned to help your client push their limits and really go after their dreams?
Self-belief. I feel like there's not very much that's more powerful than self-belief. If I tell somebody that they can do something and they believe truly that they can do something, I am in complete and utter amazement of what they really can do. I don't ever set an expectation because there are no limits. So I don't say, well, you're going to lose 2 pounds and we're going to put on this much muscle and that. We don't do that, because there is no limit on what you are capable of achieving. And the more somebody realizes this, the more successful they are. The more they believe in themselves, the more successful they are. And it is so out of this world what people are really capable of doing. A lot of times they just need somebody to say, you can do this. And they're like, you know what, I can. And they do it. And it's something amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
It is. It really is.
Yeah. And many of my former guests have had very powerful realization about themselves when working with others. What have you personally learned over time about yourself through your work with your clients?
I love it. I've learned that it's more selfish than anything. At first I was like, well, I'm gonna help people. And it's more like when I get these calls and the progress pictures from my clients where they are just elated with their results. It has nothing to do with me. Really, I'm just there. I give directions. They're the ones that execute it. But at the end of the day, it's just such a selfish thing for me. I love it so much. It does so much for me. I couldn't ask for a better job.
And you're doing such a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Love it.
We've been speaking about gratitude. What are you most grateful for today, Mary?
Everything. I mean, I don't know if I could really narrow it down to one thing. Everything. Everything.
Where can people go to learn more about you and connect with you?
My website, marysfitbody.com. There's everything there. There's things from motivational blogs to recipes and all sorts of things there.
Okay, yeah. Great. And I will make sure to put your links below this video.
Thank you so much.
You're
it was
great
speaking with you. I really enjoyed this. Thanks.
I really enjoyed this. And in closing, is there anything else you would like to share today?
Not really, no.
No?
Just thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
I think today's message, while so very powerful, is still often overlooked. So I want to thank you so much for sharing and reminding us that we treated our breast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi. For more inspiration, check out our upcoming book at realtalkrealwomen.com.